to every game, because when their teams win, they win. Download the app now and stand the chance to win with your team. Choose Bet of Africa. Terms and conditions apply. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly, not for persons below 18 years. Gaming can be addictive.
Love in the morning on Love 99.5 FM.
Hallelujah, it's morning.
Good morning. It's a wonderful brand new day. Good morning.
Welcome to 99.5 Love FM.
And as always, we're grateful that you have stayed with us and you have tuned in to Love 99.5. It's Thursday, the 23rd of September, 2021. You know what? Owning your dream home got simpler with Absa Bank Ghana.
Specifically, we saw Greater Accra having the highest number of structures, 2.1 million structures, and the Northeast region having the least number of structures, that is 0.1 million, specifically 132,000 structures. Ashanti region had the highest percentage of uncompleted structures, which was in excess of the national level of 20% of structures that were uncompleted, with Ashanti region specifically having 22.7 structures that were uncompleted. In the Northeast region, where we recorded the highest number of completed structures, we saw that 9 in every 10 structures, in the Northeast region was completed. So the headline was that residential structures are mainly concentrated in...
If you want to go and rent room, it's too much of money. If you want to go and take it somewhere, they say you have to pay 2 years, 3 years advance before they will give you the room. They will handle the room to you. So we don't have that money. That's why we come hide ourselves for here. The way we knock some small kiosks, where we be inside, where we sleep. Where we take some give some people. Where that people to know, they know if they go rent that room to know, they not figure money where they will go rent that room. So our room to know, where we not come to know, a week to know, a month to know, we take a month in 70 Ghana. We take 3 months because of houseless. Everybody no get some. Oh, like if I get money, like somebody will go hold me, like me to get my work.
The second discussion that we're going to have is the level of disaggregation. Today we are sharing with you population figures based on the national level figures and based on the regional level figures. We are not in a position at this level of aggregation to say that Ghana's population, which is largely driven by fertility, mortality, and migration, is as a result of fertility. That analysis can only be done when we do a more disaggregated analysis, i.e. at the district level. So today we are releasing to you figures that would whet our appetite ahead of the general results that we're going to put out there on 18 November 2021. The second consideration has to do with what I call the net effect squared. I call it the net effect because you have 3 variables that might cause the change in population: fertility, mortality, and migration. What you do not know is whether one has a superior impact over the other or otherwise. So you need to think about the net effect across these 3 variables. And also, if you think about a region
increased by 6.1 million people from the 24.7 million recorded in 2010, with an intercentile growth rate of 2.1%. Now, An interesting aspect of the data shows that Ghana's population is growing, but at a declining rate compared with previous censuses that has been conducted. Again, females make up a greater proportion of the population in the 2021 PHC, as has been the trend in the past 4 censuses. So, females, women outnumber men in Ghana by over 400,000. And, Eugene will be breaking it down for us shortly. Now, we have more for you right here, right now, as Eugene joins us for a Fact Check Thursday. But before he speaks to us, censuses, are to enable the formation of policies, and it also helps in planning purposes. So the question is, how useful will this data be to the development of the country? Now, let me bring you some sound bites before Eugene, takes over. And I want to share with you the thoughts as to what the findings are on this work done by the Ghana Statistical Service. As Professor Samuel Kwabena Enim, the government statistician, says that structures is a big deal in this country. Take a listen to Professor Enim.
Specifically, we saw Greater Accra having the highest number of structures, 2.1 million structures, and the Northeast region having the least number of structures, that is 0.1 million, specifically 132,000 structures. Ashanti region had the highest percentage of uncompleted structures, which was in excess of the national level of 20% of structures that were uncompleted, with Ashanti region specifically having 22.7 structures that were uncompleted. In the Northeast region, where we recorded the highest number of completed structures, we saw that 9 in every 10 structures, in the Northeast region was completed. So the headline was that residential structures are mainly concentrated in the southern part of the country. Specifically, we saw Greater Accra having the highest number of structures.
And, we're talking about structures here, and we're talking about people who do not have places to put their heads. I mean, very good places where they can sleep. And, we'll bring to you the concerns of some residents. Now, some will tell you, in the soundbite you're about to hear, they will tell you that given the opportunity, they would want to live in proper housing systems. Now, we have a housing deficit that is way above 3 million. Question is, what are we doing about it? Will this data that has been put together by the Ghana Statistical Service help us, push us to do what is required in terms of bridging the gap in terms of the housing deficit we have on our hands? Take a listen to some residents in Accra. This is what they had to say. And they live in an area called the Kofi Chrome area. They live in, metal containers. They live in kiosks. They live in wooden structures. Take a listen to them.
If you want to go and rent a rent room, it's too much of money. If you want to go and take it somewhere, they say you have to pay 2 years, 3 years advance before they will give you the room. They will handle the room to you. So we don't have that money. That's why we come hide ourselves for here. The way we knock some small kiosks, where we to be inside, where we to be sleep. Where we to take some give some people. Where that people to know, they know if they go rent that room to know, they know figure money where they will go rent that room. So our room to know, where we not come to know, a week a month we they take a month 70 Ghana. We they take 3 months because of houseless. Everybody no get some. Oh, like if I get money, like somebody will go hold me, like me to I get my work where they do, I know we stay here.
I've also been speaking to Moro Abdullah. He's an Okada rider. He has also been compelled by his financial situation to live in this kiosk here.
I'm from Kumasi, where I come Accra. But I did Accra the time where I did Alajo. I did my uncle in there. I was like 7 years back. I don't have money to rent room. So that's for me to rent. I see myself, so now I grow. So I supposed to leave my uncle down and come hustling place and come and hustle myself. Okay. So that's why I'm here. I try hustle to find some money and go and buy wood and come and do my own room. Then I day inside. So that time I hustle and do other two rooms add. They make 3. So I did 1 inside, though I rent the 2.
Oh, okay.
I'm not happy say I'm here because of here if you come see here condition, if you rain the come yourself crampon, you say no like.
So that's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba interacting with some
or otherwise.
We know that most of these lands are not genuine.
And they have been able to even put up more of these wooden structures and are renting it out. So I can say that they are landlords in their own right.
Yes.
Charging 70 Ghana cedis. And the concern I even have is that with places where they have these wooden structures and the kiosks and the metal containers, they will live under unsanitary conditions. I mean, toilet facility will be a problem. Bathing will be a problem. And so if we're not careful, we mess up the environment. Yes. And that is why, as a nation, this data that has been put together should speak to us and help and guide us in our planning and our policy situation. But you are here, and you've taken time to go through this data, this report. What can you share with us, Eugene? By the way, good morning.
Good morning, David.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
And you said that video you saw, you can use it as an alignment.
I plead the fifth because it's quite incriminating. David, yesterday the Ghana Statistical Service, pursuant to the Act of Parliament that establishes their office, came to inform Ghanaians about the census that they conducted. And some of us have been waiting for these numbers because, we always bundle about data, about population and all that. And the young guys are interested about certain aspects of the data, which I'll come to shortly. So
I can take a wild guess.
Yes.
The female population has to do that.
Yes, it's very important. Personally, too, it's very important to me. So I'll start off by giving you the key takeouts from the report. Then I'll come to some explanation of the provisional results that have been provided. And let's know these are provisional results. But if you follow census data across the country, the plus and minuses are normally infinitesimal when it comes to the finalized data. Then we come to the population change.
And the finalized data will be available in November.
Yes. We come to the population change and analyze the numbers from 2010. That was when we did the last census. Then I'll come to the regional differences. So when you come to the takeaways, Ghana's population figure per the data from the Ghana Statistical Service is 30.8 million. 30.8 million. The population has grown fivefold since the first post-independence survey that was conducted in 1960. Ghana's population is growing, but the declining rate to the previous census, and I'll give the rates. Previously, our population per 2000 to 2010 was growing at 2.5%. Now, per the data we have now, is growing at 2.1%. So it means that as a young baby, but I'll come to that later. When you go to the number 4, females make up a greater proportion of the population in the 2021 census and has been the trend for the past 4 censuses. They outnumber females in 10 out of the 16 regions. Greater Accra has also in 51 years overtaken the Ashanti region as the most populous region. Ahafo has replaced Upper West as the nation's least populous region. Let's note that the Brown Ahafo region was broken into 3, the Bono East and Ahafo, so that is accounting for that. Average household, which have been on the decline since 2000, is 3.6 members. So it means that when you go to a house, averagely, we're averaging 3.6 people per a household. Out of the 10.7 million structures that were listed or accounted for, 20% were metal containers, kiosks, and wooden structures. And David, let me spend a little bit of time here and analyze the numbers well. They say that they counted 10.7 million structures. Out of that, 20% were metal containers, wooden structures, and kiosks, as we heard the gentleman in Accra speaking to. That means that 2.1 million of total structures in Ghana are kiosks, wooden structures, and metal containers. What that also means is that when you read the point 10, it says the information on the structure usage indicates 6 out of every 10 structures were for residential use. What that means is that when you come to the 2.1 figure of 2.1 structure that represents wooden, metals, and coal, 1.2, or if you like, 1,260,000 of our population, that is 30.8 people, are living in such structures. So it tells you the alarming rate of which, some of these things are happening. Over 1.2 million people are living in kiosks, wooden structures, and also metal containers. Now, David, let me come to some summary of the provisional results and analyze it better. So they say that the de facto population in Ghana on the census night was 30,792,608, which is made up of 15,610,149 females and 15,182,459 males. This is where the interest of most people are. Overall, females make up 50.7% of the population, and males make up 49.3%, giving a national sex ratio of 97 males for every 100 females. So what that means is that there are 427,690 females more than males in Ghana. So what that means is that if you are listening, Emma say Emma or Ghana, that's what it means. In all, 8,345,414 households were enumerated, with an average national household size of 3.6 persons. So it means that every household, especially when we are moving towards more of the nuclear and not building much of the Asafo kind of houses where a lot of people can, be contained in there, the average we are recording is 3.6 persons per household. Also, the national population density indicate that we have 129 persons per square meter. 129 persons per square meter. And again, I've said that out of the structures that were counted, that is 10,661,421, which is an approximate of 10.7 million structures. 8.5 million were fully completed, that is roofed, with the doors and the windows and everything fixed. Now, David, let me come to...
And before you move on, I'd like to, also encourage our listeners to join us on Facebook if they can. If you're not driving, you can log on to Facebook on LUV 99.5. We're showing you details of all that we're discussing on Facebook, so you can follow at your own pace and take notes in terms of the percentages and all that we're talking about. It's live on Facebook on LUV 99.5. Again, in this research work done, in this data, we're told that Kumasi or Ashanti has lots of uncompleted buildings. And we'll be showing you some of the uncompleted buildings in the Ashanti region. So follow us on Facebook, LUV 99.5, and get to appreciate the conversation much better.
So, David, when you analyze the census that we had one in 1960, you had in 1970, we had in 1984, then we had in 2000, then we had 2010, then we are now having the 2021 census. When you do the analysis, Ghana's population from 2010 to 2021 has increased by 6.1 million, because the population then was 24.7 million, and now population has by the Ghana Statistical Service is 30.8 million. So it means that there's an increment of 6.1 million. Again, when you check the inter-census growth rate, this is the lowest because we are growing by 2.1%. But when you check from 2000 to 2010, we are growing by 2.5%. And David, I think those who are into birth controls and all that can analyze the numbers. But when you check this data, the Ghana Statistical Service says that the country's population will double within 33 years. And they estimate that by 2050, Ghana's population will be over 50 million. By 2050, Ghana's population will be 50 million. Again, David, this is critical for policymakers to take note of some of these numbers so that in the provision of social amenities and also in drafting the country's policy when it comes to education, health, infrastructure, and all that, we can be able to do that. We should not get to the 2050 and say that we don't have districts with primary health facilities and create agenda, whatever. We should fix the issues now before we get there. Now, David, let me move on. When you come to the total number of households, it has also grown by 2.8 million, representing a 52% increment over the 5.4 million that was recorded in 2010. Also, household size declined by 0.8, that is from 4.4 in 2010 census, at a similar declining rate of 0.9 was recorded between 2010 and to the 2000 census. Now, let me come to the regional differences. So, David, in 51 years, that is since 1970, Ashanti region has lost, exports as the most populous region to the Greater Accra region. So now the Greater Accra region is the most populous region in Ghana. If you're a student and you're listening, this may come in your BEC if you next year, so take note of it. Yes. So, David, let me give you the figures. When you go to the Greater Accra region, they are now 5,446,237. When you come to the Ashanti region, the number is 5,432,485. When you go to the second, the third region, that is the Eastern region, is 2,917,039. The Central region follows with 2,859,821. Then you have the Northern region, and let's note that the Northern region has also been broken down into three. We have the Northeast, the Savannah, but when you add it, clearly the Northern region have been the third most populous region if we still maintain the third regional structure that we had. So the Northern region comes, we have the Western region, the Volta region, the Upper East region, the Bono region, the Blue East region, the Upper West region, the Western North region, the Woti region, the Northeast region, the Savannah region, and the Hafu region. So, students, take note. The Greater Accra is the most populous, and the least populous region in Ghana now is the Hafu region with 564,536.
This is not a this is just common sense.
Yes. We don't give up here. We don't want to be arrested. So, David, the disparities in the population size across regions have been the largest observed since 1960, when Ghana conducted its first post-independence census. In 1960, the most populous region, the Eastern region, was almost 5 times the size of the upper West region, which was the least populated region then. In 2010, the most populous region, the Ashanti region, was almost 7 times the size of the least populous region. The least populous region then, that was the Upper West region. So what this is basically saying is that at the last census that was done, when you take the number of people in the Ashanti region and you take the number of people in the Upper West region, the Upper West region had to be multiplied by 7 to match up with the numbers of the Ashanti region then. That is the 2010 census. In 2021, the Hafu region is the least populous. As I've said, there are 11 regions that are twice the size as populous as Hafu, and 6 that are twice as populous. For Savannah and Northeast, there are 7 other regions twice as populous and 5 that are twice as populous. The current northern region observed the largest change in population, for almost 50% increase over its population in 2010. David, I did more research here, and this is very critical. When you check the northern region, Tamale Central and Tamale South, which is one of the constituencies by Honorable the minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, it is the fastest growing municipality in West Africa, not Ghana alone, the northern region. It is the fastest growing municipality in West Africa. So if you're an investor, you can be able to take some of these data and do further analysis.
And that is the purpose of some of these censuses, especially for business-minded people. You get to know the dynamics and the demographics, and then you go in there and do some more business. We'll be telling you about the benefits of such censuses in a bit.
So, David, when it comes to the population distribution by region, this is just some pie chart that was done. So when you come to the Greater Accra, they have the lion's share. As we say, they are the most populous. It represents 17.7% of Ghana's population.
And it's still on Facebook, and you can follow that chat on Facebook. LUV 99.5.
Yes. And Ashanti region is second with 17.6. The Eastern region comes with 9.5. The Central region comes with 9.3. The Northern region with 7.5. The Western region with 6.7. Let's note the Western region was also broken into 2, the Western and Western North region. They have the Volta region with 5.4. But David, a little fun fact here: there are more women in Volta region than men. So if you're also interested in such things, you can also move to the Volta region. So, David, basically, this is what the numbers represent. But for me, the most important number the most important aspect of the statistic that was worrying. Again, I'm coming back to the housing census, and I'll end in a minute. David, they say that they counted 10.7 million structures. Let me emphasize that 10.7 million structures. 20% of them were, what you call makeshift structures, metal containers, wooden structures, kiosks, and all that. And out of the 2.1 million of the such structures, 6 out of every 10 were residential facilities. People live there.
Residential facilities.
Yes, people live there. When you do the math, it means that 1.2 million of the 30.8 million who are also taxpayers, because they pay indirect taxes, who are also, citizens of Ghana, are living in such structures. And for me, this makes a further case that when it comes to the state housing facility that Kofo had affordable housing, we've seen the ones at Ayija, which have become resident for rodent and all sorts of criminal activities. We've seen the Sagleme, which have been in the news recently. This makes a further case that we should be able to tackle some of these things, because Ghanaians are living hard. 1.2 million people are just living without,
the housing deficit. Structures. The housing deficit, again, when you go online, from the Ghana Statistical Services, websites and stuff like that, and you want to ascertain for yourself what the figure is, they give us about 1.7.
1.7.
But when you speak to people who are on the ground themselves, who are researchers and are working in that area, they'll tell you that it's way above 3 million.
Yes, and it's true, because the same census says that when you take a square meter, you have 129 people. When you read the United States figure, they are far less. They are working about 70 or so. So it tells you that indeed, when you are stretching some of these numbers and are going on the ground to get the reality, we are hitting almost about 5 million. Yes. And David, a little fun fact here on finances, because people also like their money. When you check the Ghana Statistical Service, they say that our GDP stood at $66.98 billion. billion. That's at 2090. That means that when we are sharing Ghana's money to everybody, we know we not get the money, but you let me do my analysis and go. When we share the money, every Ghanaian will get 13,196 cedis. 13,196 cedis. But David, conversely, when you juxtapose that with the current debt stock of Ghana, which is 332.4 billion cedis, when you deduct the debt, every Ghanaian is owing 10,792 cedis. We are owing every Ghanaian. We are owing 10,729 cedis. But when you do our GDP and the money every Ghanaian will get if you are sharing Ghana's resources and all that, that is 13,196. So when you subtract, it means that every Ghanaian have a balance of 2,400 cedis.
They do 3,000.
Yes.
But again, let's take a look at some of the percentages and the data. As to what the Ghana Statistical Service released, and let's talk about, for example, we've only increased by 6.1 million in terms of numbers, in terms of population. Do we know what is accounting for this?
The chief statistician didn't give these numbers. I think that the various institutions also take some of these trends and analyze. It means that because the last census was done in 2010, so when you take 6.1 million and even divide by the 11-year period, it means that we are growing even less than 1 million per year. It means that we are growing just around 610,000. 610,000. I think that maybe Ghanaians are not giving birth more, or maybe they are, because there are also other people saying that. David, let me address this. Yesterday, when the results came, there were several people on social media saying that, I wasn't counted. No, that personally, I wasn't counted. But because my landlord lives with me and knows the various people in the house, yes. So he gave that data to the census officials. So it's not that, we should come and form one logo like, you number one, number two. No, you don't do that in census.
And talking about this 6.1 increase, listening to the news and thoughts of some experts, they are saying that it could be that, in this day and age, more women are also going to school.
Yes,
more women are becoming career oriented, and so they are not giving birth as much as we used to have women give birth in years gone by, and so that could be a factor. It could be also that a lot of women of today are using more contraceptives or maybe having abortions.
Yes. David, when you read the some of the findings, because this is not the first time we talk about Ghana, and David, the right figure is that when you do the math, it means that every year since 2010 we are having 610 people joining us. This means that nobody was dying, if I'm keeping the figure right, because we said 24.7 million in 2010. Now we are 30.8 million. So when you do the math, it means that in the last 10 years, every year we are adding on babies, or let me say people, we are adding on humans in the excess of 610,000. That is saying that nobody died. So I think that we further interrogate some of these numbers. But David, there are several reasons accounting for that. As we said, birth control pills, then also the economics of the day. Because David, let's not forget that the Ghana today cannot be compared to the Ghana of the 70s or the 80s. Things are a bit hard. We are talking about even people not getting access to, accommodation and all that. So if you are not getting access to accommodation and the very basics of social amenities, water, toilet facilities and all that, I think that the normal understanding or conclusion is that you don't want to add on to your pressures. And
all like years gone by where we could walk into homes and live with the uncles and aunties. This time around is, like we said, it's about only 3.6 in terms of the housing numbers.
And also tells you about our family orientation and our social fiber. It tells you that the Ghanaian society of today is moving towards the nuclear system, where is the husband, the wife, and 2.1 children or 3 children. It means that we are not now depending much on the external family to be able to meet some of these needs and all that.
And the most populous region is Greater Accra. Is it to say that they are giving birth more, or people are migrating more to Greater Accra?
David, it's purely migration. And I will explain why. When you take the I didn't bring the data, but when you take the 2020 results that we used to vote, when you take the top 10 constituencies, and David, you can check this, when you take the top 10 constituencies, about 6 of them were from the Greater Accra region. We have Dome, we have Trouble, we have Amasama. And David, let's know, Trouble and Amasama were constituencies that were not really that growing. But in 2010, we saw a huge rise, even Pram. Why? Because when you go to Accra, just like Kumasi, people are moving toward the outskirts of these cities because that is where they get affordable accommodation. They come and work in Kumasi, or this is where they will get lands and build. So, for example, when you take the Achuma areas in Kumasi, Achuma Kwaoma, Achuma Mpunia, Achuma Webieja, the 4 Achuma constituencies, they alone are giving a voter population of 530,000, and anybody with the data can check. They alone, Achuma 4 constituencies, are giving 530,000 registered voters, and David, these are registered voters. So those who didn't register, people below the ages of 18 are not captured. So again, it tells you that migration, and we are not doing more because people from the north
are moving all the way down south.
All the way down south.
And this is why the census is essential.
Yes.
Because if we work with this, it will tell you that, listen, one area is getting overpopulated. Yes. Let's bring more development to other areas. That will make people stay there, so we don't get places getting choked.
Yes.
Because when places get choked, like in that current situation, we have a lot of slums.
Yes.
And that's why people are living in kiosks, wooden structures, and containers.
And all that. And David, you see, also when the president made the speech that they were building the first interchange in the northern region, I thought that was not factual until I read extensively. David, the deprivation in the northern region is so dire and steep. And for me, since Rawlings, we have not done enough for these regions. David, see, we separated the upper regions, say that we are bringing development, just as we had the conversation about the 16 regions. But David, the creation of regions alone are not indicative of development going into the regions. It must be a deliberate attempt. And for me, if we are in 2021 and the northern region is now getting an interchange and we are celebrating this, it's worrying. Again, David, it comes to about our policymakers. What jobs are we creating based on the demography of the area? For example, there's a lot of farming activities there. There's a lot of sherbata activities there. What factories are going there? What kind of education are we orienting the people there?
Because when you do it well,
exactly,
the people stay and remain there.
David, when you read about the Industrial Revolution of Asia, China, for example, when they have these poverty, or let me say poverty-induced provinces, or the areas with more poverty, what they did is that they brought factories there. They brought shopping centers there. They created a railway system where you can come and shop in Kumasi, but you can go back because it's a railway system. They are faster and everything. It was deliberate. So nobody will wake up from, let's say, a rural province in China to say, I'm going to Beijing. No, they don't do that.
I hear you. Well, time is fast spent. Let's invite our listeners in now on 03220-83596. You tell us what you make of this census population and how hopeful you are that it will be put to the right use that will enable us get the development that we require. 03220-83596. You can join us now. Again, I mean, if you look at our population where we've just grown by 6.1% and just oppose it to the information we gathered about teenage pregnancy, that we have about a little over 500,000 teenagers getting pregnant. What does that say to you? If we had managed it well, maybe the figure would have gone down more, wouldn't it?
Yes, I agree. And David, even the teenage pregnant, yes. You see, so it tells you that every statistic that is happening in Ghana have a certain bearing on our national conscience. And we need to take care of some of these indicators too.
I hear you. Christoph is on the line. You can also be part of our conversation. What is this research work, this statistics, what is it saying to you, this data, what is it saying to you? And you believe that we can put it to very, very good use? 03220-83596. Christoph, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, David. How are you, sir?
I am well, and so is Eugene Osei-Tutu.
Yeah, good show by you and Eugene. I mean, it's a great guy. David, my advice to the prof, the government statistician is that if he's speaking, he should take time and speak with this national data. I mean, he's not pressed with time like David that was with time. For that matter, he speaks out. He should take time and give us, because this is very sensitive and integral part of our economy, numbers, figures, so that we can plan with it. Dave, to me, my problem is the massive exodus of the youth from the rural areas to the urban centers. It's about time you do something about it. So you know from what they've come up with that the young people are always moving across Kumasi and all that. Hence, the social violence and all that. And that's why I endorse this 1D1. But I'm not seeing the light of day of this one factory. And with accommodation issues, it's something that you have to do. They should do more of the affordable housing so that people can get decent lives and all that. So people can't even think straight. If you don't get good accommodation, David, you can't think straight. You can't even be responsible. And it affects your entire system, your being and order, your intellectuality, everything is being compromised and curtailed. And so we should work on affordable housing so that people can get decent accommodation.
Well, thank you very much, Christoph. And of course, this provisional results has been released, is available. So if, let's say, Professor Samuel Kwabena spoke fast, you can grab it and at your own pace go through it. Emmanuel, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yes, sir.
This is Emmanuel from Christian Service, Kumasi.
Okay, good to have you, sir.
It's difficult to get you sometimes, but there's one trend I'm seeing that I wish to talk about, and it goes through everything. If we would be serious with anything, we have to check our corruption level. Last census that was taken till now, we can ask ourselves, was it used for any developmental project? That is, was it an informing tool for our development? Otherwise, we'll have the same thing. We have a census taken now, and it will not be used for anything. And much of these things are because of these political ideologies and differences and people and what they want to do. You see, it boils down to the fact that if our leaders, if I should put it that way, are not or are leading us right, let me just make it simple, leading us right, and we avoid corruption to its barest minimum, some of these data will be used to develop the areas we find ourselves. Because, for example, these regions we had we had more regions, okay, because we did a development. Have you seen development going on because the region has been created? So please, let's look at it from that angle. If our leaders will help us, some of these things will really be helpful. Otherwise, the migration will continue to be, and people will want to seek greener pastures. It will it will be in our census, but nothing is going to happen because of corruption, so to speak.
I hear you, Emmanuel, from Christian Service University College. Thanks for joining us. 03220-83596. You can also be a part of our conversation. What do you make of this provisional results relating to the population and housing census that has been released? Especially when you look at the area of accommodation or residential challenges or housing deficit, it's huge. And I hope and pray that our leaders will take a look at this data and do something about it. Kofi, good morning.
Morning, Dave. I want to take this opportunity to make a simple plea to the leaders of this country, not only the political leaders. It seems this country, we don't respect research. We don't respect survey. Trust me, if you go to the northern region, the UDA students are always conducting research on about every single village in the northern region. If you pick just one of the research, the whole village problem is solved, but we don't respect it. I'm feeling embittered that this wonderful survey that we have spent money to do are going to park somewhere. We are not going to use it anyway. I want to tell our leaders that it is research that will help the country to develop, not these fake pastors, not these slave queens, not these people that the attention-seeking pastors that they will come and you tell you will win, you will do this. That's not what is going to make you win. It is this research. We should respect this research and know that this is where we are supposed to support people with their housing deficit, where we should bring their housing intervention to, where we should bring this particular intervention to. I want to beg them, let's make use of this research. Yeah, kind of a fair. Bye-bye. It's so pitiful.
That's the thought of Kofi. You can also give us a call on 03220-83596. And listen, let me just read something to you. A population and housing census has many uses. In the first place, it will give us the total number of persons and housing types and their characteristics in every Ghanaian town or village or given small area. And that's what this has done. This information will be of great help to the central and local governments in planning various educational, health, housing, and other social services. Now, since the last census in 2010, there's been many changes in the structure of the population. In this regard, there is a need for a census to update the social, demographic, and economic data in the country and ascertain changes that have occurred in the population. So, are we going to have the changes that we're looking for? What will it take? Bamba, good morning. Bamba, how are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm well, Bamba. Good to have you. Your thoughts?
Yeah, okay. My concern because I don't
Bamba, sorry, do you have a radio set by you or any device by you? There's a feedback, some terrible feedback I'm having on your line, sir. I'm sorry, Bamba, call us back so we can hear you. Call us again. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, Dixon.
Dixon, good to have you, sir.
Yeah. That is.
Yes, sir.
Like someone said, it's a beautiful survey. But the bottom line is, what are we going to use it for? In Ghana, all we know, all or what we think is that whenever a survey is conducted, we normally think it's for the purpose, the benefit of somebody. We don't actually think of how beneficial it will be to us. So with this survey, like you said, what are they doing when it comes to health, when it comes to the educational sector, and what have you? I think when the survey came, they've given it to the right of people, the authorities, to go through it. So my appeal to them is they should go through it holistically and make good use of the survey for the betterment of the citizens. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dixon, for joining us this morning. And you can still give us a call on 03-220-835-96 and tell us what you make of this provisional results that has been released by the Ghana Statistical Service in terms of our population and housing census. So, big question that's on the minds of many. We've done this severally. Some action has been taken. I mean, some work has been done. We can ask ourselves whether we are satisfied with the pace. And you made reference to up north, where we're not going to have an, what do you call it? Interchange or flyover. And we're excited about it. What will it take for us to, for example, take this work done by the Ghana Statistical Service and say, if you look at the structures involved, the uncompleted structures, why is it so? How can we tackle it? The residential, the gap. How do we fix it? And I was speaking to a researcher, and I'm hoping that from next week we'll be delving more into this, who says that to him, it is even wrong to lump them all together, the residential and structures. Why don't we, separate them? Then we'll get to have the actual percentage of people who are not living in proper structures or residences. But unfortunately, we're not doing some of these things. Question is, in your estimation, what will it take for us to be able to make use of such information? That is key to development and policy decisions.
You see, David, it will take, as I said, a lot of commitment. For example, for me, in my 20-something years on net, the only thing I see census data being used for is creating districts and new regions. and we saw how even some people accused the EC then of gerrymandering during the 2012 results. We've seen also the activities in the SAR region, the Central Kofi, which they do not have an MP, they do not have a district chief executive. For me, these data go beyond the numbers we see for electoral gains. By now, the MPP and NDC are picked.
Okay, so I'm told that George has been holding on for a while. Let's speak to George. Good morning, George. Hello, George.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, George, how are you doing?
Doing well.
All right, so let's hear you on what you've heard in terms of those provisional results released by the Ghana Statistical Service on the population and housing census.
No, I'm not going to talk about that. I just want to give a complaint about this Menabredi Road. There is a speed ramp at UNESCO. In fact, that speed ramp is disturbing. Very, very worrying.
Okay, so I think on Tuesday we spoke to the MC nominee, Abraham Kwame Aintree. He says he's going to tackle it. So thanks for raising this concern, but we have addressed it. And let's hope that in no time it will be fixed. Thank you very much, George, for joining us. So you were saying that it should not be necessarily be for electionary purposes.
There should be a conscious, for example, David, when you take even our high school data, you notice that since the invent of free SHS, we are having more girls going to school. We have a population where almost 427,000 females are more in the population. It means that our policies must also have some of the gender focus in there. Again, it buttresses the point I made the last time on page 995 on Monday, that when we are appointing people to high offices, there should be a conscious effort to give women a certain quota and to create an enabling environment for women to be able to be there. Because let's not forget, the women are child bearers. They keep the home. They cannot be on the same campaign trail as the men. So it means that our policies must also be gender friendly. Again, when we are also sharing the national cake, when it comes to, for example, there's a recent story about sanitary pads and we having luxury tax on them. It has to take advocacy for the gender ministry, even the gender minister, to say that, oh, she didn't know. So the advocacy brought to attention that, oh, there's a certain level of tax on sanitary pads. David, these are the basic amenities girls need.
And indeed, it's not just for government alone. It is for all of us. Like I mentioned a while ago, even businesses. Business people can take this data, look at the demographics and say, okay, fine, we're going to do A, B, or C in this area or in that area. So if we want to really see development in this country, These are some of the things that will aid us in doing the right things. And in the coming days, like we've been talking about, we'll be looking at it critically with some experts. We shall be talking about the housing deficit and what it will take for us to do better at it. I'm not surprised that we have this on hand, because a couple of days ago, I had Professor Haji send me, and I think I forwarded it to you yesterday. I don't know whether you recall that I sent you something from Professor Haji, and it had to do with these kiosks and all these metallic structures that people are living in. And he says it's something that we need to be mindful of and something that we need to really resolve. So he will be with us, and we'll be talking some more based on the work done by the Ghana Statistical Service. At this point in time, I say thank you very much, Eugene Osetutu, for your time with us here on Love in the Morning. Meanwhile, buy your air conditioner, and I'm talking about air conditioner that has a horsepower of 1.5, and get a ceiling fan for free. You know where this is happening? It's happening at Kennedy Digital Satellite. That's where it's happening. So when you go there right now, you buy an air conditioner, a horsepower of 1.5, you get a ceiling fan for free. Again, the same place. If you buy a deep freezer from 500 liters to 900 liters, you get to have a ceiling fan for free. Again, if you buy a television set, and they have 15 inches available up to 75 inches and even more, when you buy any of these inches, you get a ceiling fan for free as well. How about that? But that's not all. They have other items available. They have commercial fufu machines, domestic fufu machines. And I keep saying this, listen, gone are the days where you have to look for a pestle and mortar. This time around, we even want to protect our environment. We don't want to cut down trees and all. So why don't you get for yourself this domestic fufu machine, put in your banchi and your body, and within a few minutes, you are good to go to enjoy your ponchi kakra and your fufu at home. They also have popcorn machines, sewing machines, industrial sewing machines, double-door refrigerators, showcase refrigerators, and tabletop refrigerators. They have washing machines, 7 kg up to 12 kg. They have cooking, gas cookers from 4 burners to 6 burners. They have stoves, 2 burners to 3 burners, microwave ovens, kettles, blenders, iron stabilizers, and all kinds of decoders. All government workers under the Controller and Accountant General's Department can go to them. Listen, you have a fridge at home, but it's broken, and so you send your son Kwesi Koji Inso Ama Hobremi. You are disturbing Ama. Meanwhile, if you work and your salary comes from the Controller and Accountant General's Department, if you go to Kennedy Digital right now, you can get a fridge on credit. So you get a fridge, and then you pay in installments. You have a payment plan. Now you don't have a television, so you're always watching television in somebody's room. Why don't you go to Kennedy Digital and get a television set? What are you waiting for? Listen, do this and you'll be glad you did, okay? You can find them in Edum, Family Plaza Building, first floor. Again, if you go to Patasi, Kennedy Junction, Adam House Building, first floor, you can find them there. Call them on 0244 385 128, 0244 385 128, or 020 7653 031. In Accra, you can find them at Weja. They are at the Old Barrier Traffic Light. Call them in Accra at Weja on 0244 385 136, 0244 385 136. And I'm talking about Kennedy Digital. He's a very friendly person, and trust me, you'll be glad you did business with him. Let's go to CBG. Now, are you a doctor? Are you a nurse, a teacher, or you're a government worker on the Controller payroll? Do you need some urgent financing? Worry no more. Access CBG personal loan at a very competitive rate and pay over 60 months. For more information on how to access this loan, walk into any CBG branch near you or call them on 0302 216 000. You can send them a mail to info@cbg.com.gh or visit their website www.cbg.com.gh, or you can visit their social media handles for more information. I'm talking about Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at CBG Bank Limited for updates. Terms and conditions apply. CBG, we stand with you. So we shall be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit for more on the Super Morning Show. But before we do, now we couldn't have done it without you. Robert & Sons Limited Optical Services would like to say a big thank you to all its loyal customers for 31 years of patronage. We couldn't have made it this far without you, and we appreciate all your support throughout these years. We invite all our customers to please visit any of our branches for exciting giveaways and great offers. Now, we look forward to continuing to provide you with many more years of comprehensive eye care services and unbeatable variety of authentic products. Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve you for 31 years, and join us for more in the coming years. Visit Robert and Sons Optical at Adiabeba, right here in Kumasi, Adabaka, Osudankwa Circle, Tema Community 6, Wager, East Legon, and Adenton. For more enquiries, you can call Robert and Sons on 050-151-9111. The number again is 050-151-9111. Robert and Sons Optical Services. Seeing is believing. Now, there's this thing going on Jumia Brand Festival announcement. Now, Jumia Brand Festival is here, live, and it began on Monday, the 20th of September. It's going to end on the 3rd of October. Shop all your favorite brands on Jumia and make real savings up to 50% off. Watch out for daily flash sales at 10 a.m., 12 p.m., and 3 p.m. What you need to do is download the Jumia app now. Jumia, your everyday delivered. This is Love 99.5. We'll be right back.
Trade and Tourism Online and Radio Fairs brought to you by
Yabolivia Enterprise, importer of Future Life Smart Food. Satisfy your hunger and protect you against all diseases. Future Life Smart Food is scientifically formulated with 23 vitamins and minerals, 19 amino acids, omega-3, inulin, selenium. Mildew Care is a daily immune supplement. Future Life Smart Food is high in energy.